Hello, everybody. This is Jim Ransom bringing you another episode of Morning Jim Poetry. I've got some new equipment now. I hope it works. We're going to see. Um, and if you followed my advice after the April 28th meeting, I didn't show up. Too many other distractions that day, but I'm back again today, May 11th, this is, to bring you what I think will be an interesting potpourri of poems from all over the map. There is no central theme, although in picking these poems, I was thinking about the springtime and its onslaught of greenery and flowers. But also I was thinking of the frequent storms of spring. We, we are having one today as I write this. So perhaps it is appropriate to begin with a poem by John Crow Ransom, no relative of mine, but I've read some of his things before, including, I think, perhaps this one, at another time and with another theme. But the poem's title is Miriam Tazewell, and I think it fits perfectly with our theme today. When Miriam Tazewell heard the tempest bursting, and his wrathy whips across the sky drawn crackling, she stuffed her ears for fright like a young thing, and with a heart full of the flowers took to weeping. But the earth shook dry his old back in good season. He had weathered storms that drenched him deep as this one, and the sun, Miriam, ascended to his dominion. The storm was withered against his empyrean. After the storm she went forth with skirts tilted to see, in the strong sun, her lawn deflowered. Her tulip, iris, peony strung and pelted, pots of geranium spilled, and the stalks naked. The spring transpired in that year with no flowers, but the regular stars went busily on their courses. Suppers and cards were calendared, and some bridals, and the birds demurely sang in the bitten poplars. To Miriam Tazewell, the whole world was villain, to prosper when the fragile babes were fallen, and not to unstop her own storm and be maudlin. For weeks she went untidy. She went sullen. I've always loved that poem, both for its theme and for its very clever poetry. By the way, an Empyrean, as it appeared in there, and the storm withered against his Empyrean. The Empyrean is a battle flag. So when the sun finally came up, the storm withered against his, that is the sun's, Empyrean. Next, I'll read a much more optimistic view of spring in a poem I wrote just 2 days ago. It's called A Spring to Remember. This is a season when dancing ladies are fully leafed in the pale green of moist April, skirts swishing in soft breezes, and the clematis in a warm corner seems full of pink blossoms overnight. In early May, iris open with damp lips. So long they drool with every rainfall. The Japanese iris stood tall as if saluting, watching golden chestnuts bloom, florets of pink and white. An orderly mob supporting a legion of blossoms like towers on each branch. And then the rhododendrons, green foliage invisible, bloom smothered. This is a florid spring worth waiting for, maybe just once in a long lifetime. When flowers are singing in scarce sunshine, life is fully colored and joyous, and should be this way forever. Look out the window to watch. or walk in the garden, breathe its sweet air. Nothing brown is left uncovered. Only flowers tilting to the sunshine, happy and fair. That's a little happier view of spring. Incidentally, let me say that dancing ladies are a species of tree. They're not very common. They have branches that droop down from a peak, and the branches leaf out with deciduous leaves. It only takes them 24 hours or less to become fully leafed from nothing. Amazing trees. But when they're all leafed out, they look like dancing ladies with green, scintillating gowns made up of these thick expanses of leaf. So that's a description of a dancing lady. And now, let's jump over to a poem by Andrea Cohen that I found in a current or recent issue of Poetry Magazine. And this poem is called A Fable. I'm tired of meaning, says the tortoise to the hare, who agrees. The lions and crows don't disagree, and the snake chimes in. It would be better if we didn't have to moonlight as morality lessons. Exactly, says the chicken. I'd like to let loose once in a while. I'd like to stretch my wings, she says. Yes, says the fox. You should get out of your pen more, says the fox. You should let me help, says the fox, opening the latch to the evening. It was a fine evening, and a fine conclusion they were coming to, thought the fox, helping the chicken out of her feathers. That is a very clever poem, to be sure. And it describes another kind of thing that could happen in the spring, doesn't it? I subscribe to Poetry Magazine, but seldom find anything to share from it before I found this one. Nowadays, it has moved on from being an English language poetry vehicle, and you are as likely to find in it poems in Chinese characters, or Arabic, or Tagalog, or what not. It was better in an earlier life. But that's just me. Now, let's talk a little bit about Mother's Day. Mother's Day is coming up tomorrow. And I have a poem for Mother's Day. It's from the Bible, Proverbs 31, verses 25 to 28. She is clothed with strength and dignity. She can laugh at the days to come. She speaks with wisdom, and faithful instruction is on her tongue. She watches over the affairs of her household and does not eat the bread of idleness. Her children arise and call her blessed. Her husband also, and he praises her. Let's hope it shall be that way tomorrow in all of your households. Thank you for tuning in. That's it now. And with any luck, I'll be back next week. So go enjoy some flowers. Bye now.